this community. Why? Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. Go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that.
Hi everybody, it's your girl Fresh Ness, or Nessa. You can call me Nessa. Oh, sorry, I don't know what just happened. Let me get myself back in here. All right, there I go. All right. So, thank you so much for tuning in to This Is Insane. This is the first show. This is a remix of the first episode. So if you've seen the episode that launched yesterday, you had a chance to see it, then that is going to be scrapped, and this is a new one. And everyone who pretty much has watched that show, I thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I did it late because I had edits, and I had to pretty much switch up some things today because of copyrights, because this is going on to YouTube. So because of that, I decided to have a do-over. Plus, I was extremely tired. I was talking weird, talking crazy, having brain farts. I have some coffee with me. It's still in wee hours of the morning because I'm always busy doing something. So that's just what it is. But let's get this started. So episode 1, we're discussing pretty much the effects of social media on children. But not only are we just talking about social media, we're also talking about TikTok and some of the different platforms that is a little bit uncomfortable, even for adults, honestly, when it comes to us not understanding data, not understanding algorithm, not understanding certain things about these apps, and they're not governed. They're not governed by like the people in office. So that's a problem. So we're going to show some clips, and I do have people that love to listen. So I am very sorry that you cannot hear that you cannot see like the clips. I apologize about that, but I made sure that they were clips that you can actually hear in detail, and I will definitely give you some detail about the clips. So the first clip that I actually want to show you is about the policy executive. I think his name is like Michael Becker or something like that. But anyway, he is a policy executive for TikTok here in the United States. And he had an interview with CBS, and they asked him some really great questions, some really hard questions. And I just want you to hear how he danced around a lot of the questions. And please forgive me because that's part of my aesthetic. If you see like analog looking like videos on my platform, that is the type of style that I'm going for, because I'm old school and I like that whole analog look, that whole DVD, VHS. So you'll see things that look like a little glitches, and also that helps with copyright. So don't be alarmed. It's not you, it's me. Okay. So let's go ahead and start this off with the first clip, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Let's check it out. Let's see. What's going on? What's going on?
We begin this hour with a look at how social media and cell phones can affect children. It's part of our coverage of Mental Health Awareness Month. A recent survey showed 43% of kids between ages 8 and 12 have smartphones. That number soars to 88% for kids between 13 and 18. And on average, those teens spend nearly 1.5 hours per day on social media sites. We wanted to have an honest conversation with a group of kids about everything from the pressure of owning a phone to expectations created by social media. We spoke to Sam, Naeem, Ellie, Tiara, Aaron, and Jade. All have cell phones except for Naeem. He's only 8 years old. And all are on at...
I am so sorry. This is a different clip. This is not the actual clip. I did have that clip ready to roll, but something happened. So please bear with me. I do believe this is the clip that I'm looking for.
App has exploded in popularity.
Right here.
According to the company, more than 1 billion users sign on to Scroll monthly. TikTok's terms and conditions require users to be at least 13, but the company admits it has removed millions of accounts suspected to be under that age. So what is TikTok showing our children? Earlier this year, the Wall Street Journal programmed dozens of bots registered as 13 to 15-year-olds to see what videos the app's algorithms would show them. The result? Hundreds of videos about drug use, eating disorders, and porn site recommendations. And despite thousands of videos labeled as for adults only, the Wall Street Journal's teenage bots still found them, meaning they could have landed in front of the eyes of real children. There are also concerns about overuse, something Nate talked about with his 11-year-old daughter, Mia.
I feel like at one point you were addicted to TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you think you were?
Definitely. There's no doubt.
And when Nate asked Mia how often she uses the app, he said her answer was eye-opening.
Do you want the truth?
Yeah.
About more than 8 hours a day, probably.
8 hours a day.
Yeah.
When you don't find anything on it, you'll still want to look for things that'll make you happy.
TikTok told the Wall Street Journal protecting minors is vitally important, and TikTok has taken industry-first steps to promote a safe and age-appropriate experience for teens, close quote. Michael Beckerman, TikTok's head of public policy for North America, is here with us now to talk more about all of this. Michael, thank you for being here. We just heard Nate's daughter say she uses TikTok for 8 hours a day, which sounds like a pretty big number to me. And I think we should start there with the overarching question of how TikTok can make an experience that is dependent on taking more and more and more of our children's attention and do it ethically.
It's a great question. TikTok is about entertainment and bringing joy. We put a premium on authentic content, uplifting content. But like all entertainment, you want to watch with moderation, and we put tools in place, take a break videos, screen time management, and tools for parents like family pairing to make sure that they can have conversations and do what's right for their family and their teenagers.
So we should talk about some of those tools, but I want to pause for a second to bring in the China component of this. I know there's a lot of misinformation about TikTok in China, but the one thing that is very interesting to American parents is the fact that TikTok's version in China, owned by your parent company, ByteDance, same logo, many of the same features, they have voluntarily capped use for 14 and under kids at 40 minutes per day, no overnight use, and by the way, all the content is going to be educational, according to the company. If that's what they're doing over there, why is the experience so different for our kids?
Well, first off, TikTok is not available in China, and so I can't speak necessarily
The
to what...
same logo, same platform, it's over there with your company. They have a different policy for their kids. Why do our kids get exposed to the whole...
Yeah, TikTok is completely separate from that, and they have different regulations and rules in China they do in the U.S. But here, we do have an age-appropriate experience. We have the tools in place to have let parents decide how much time they want their teenagers to spend. We give the nudge on taking a break. But it's something that we're talking to policymakers on. It's important that apps have age-appropriate experience, and we have certain tools, actually, that are not available for younger teenagers. Direct messaging, for example, is something that's very popular with teenagers, but also it's an area that bad things can happen with indirect messages. So on TikTok, if you're under 16, there's no direct messaging at all. And so we proactively put a lot of these things in place to ensure a safer experience on the app.
So TikTok's sister company is radically limiting what 14-year-olds can do, and you're considering the same here. That's interesting on its face. I have to say, when I hear a social media company say that we're nudging people to get off the product or to use it less, I think to myself, what other companies ask customers, maybe you want to do this less? And the other companies are gambling companies, maybe tobacco companies, maybe alcohol companies, what we call vice industries. What does it say about social media that you're also asking people, hey, maybe you should do this less?
Well, I think that's a false comparison. This is entertainment. Just like watching TV or the radio or Netflix or anything else, you should watch in moderation. We're just trying to be responsible, and we're trying to learn as well. We've invested in Boston Children's Hospital, helping them put together a digital wellness lab to hear from experts on what are the things that can be healthy for teenagers. And we're implementing that proactively.
Watch with moderation and watch responsibly is almost identical to what the alcohol industry says. Just saying.
It's not it's not the same thing. It's an entertainment platform. And again, like CBS, you have a lot of great programming, but you don't want people to watch all day either.
Well, we kind of do. But
Social media can be addictive, but I quickly want you to explain and define algorithm before I get to my question, because that word is thrown around a lot and parents don't know what it means.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's something that shouldn't be scary. And for us, actually, we've been leaning into transparency about how the algorithm, which is the For You feed that decides what videos that you're seeing in your feed, to have transparency with policymakers and regulators and anybody that's interested in knowing how that works. For us, it's interest-based. And so we're a little bit different than the typical social media companies that are based on who you know and those social interactions. This is based on the entertainment and what you're watching in the app. And so as you're seeing videos and you're engaging with those videos, the things that you find more joyful and interesting and fun and you share with your friends and you like, you'll get more of that.
Okay, so with that said, I understand that concept. I could walk into my daughter's room and I could see her smiling. She's having a great experience on the app. But what if there's a day where my daughter doesn't feel good about herself? She has a bad day at school. She is second-guessing how she looks. Her self-esteem is damaged, and she falls into this vortex. Will the algorithm start to send her videos that takes her deeper and deeper and deeper into maybe even a depression?
as long as she's interested, will it take her there?
So a difference also on TikTok is it's about a diversity of content. And so we look to have a lot of different kinds of sources of information. So you're not just getting into one thing, but also we have ways, if you're not interested in something, you want to see less. But also, look, it starts with a conversation. You can't just think that you're not going to talk to your teenager and everything's going to be okay, whether they're online or offline.
For sure.
It starts with conversations. And we have a guide on our website. We worked with the Parent Teacher Association and others to what can you do to facilitate those conversations? And one of the things you can do is start by watching content with your teenager or even filming videos with them.
Yeah.
It's something that we've seen so much of during the pandemic, of parents coming together with their teenagers, and that's a good way to start a conversation.
And really quickly, if I could, my daughter's 7. All of her little friends have TikTok. I took it off because she kept going in, and I showed her, you have to be 13. So you're lying about your age so that you can watch the videos. It makes her incredibly happy to see people dancing and having fun. But then she was following people that were not age appropriate. So are you guys at a point where you're looking at that other group? We started off talking about teens and tweens, but clearly you're talking 7, 8, 9-year-olds that are on your platform.
Yeah, we have an experience for younger users, under 13 experience, where you can't post videos, it's all private.
But they want that other experience. They want to be able to post.
But it's important also for parents to make sure that their teenagers are having an age-appropriate experience, and we have that. The videos are all curated with Common Sense Networks, and we want to have a fun experience for everybody.
I have to throw this out there. I trust TikTok when my daughter is on it. That's because I'm very active in what she watches. I don't want you to feel like you're being attacked, but there are questions as a father that I'm concerned about, and I appreciate you answering them.
Yeah, we're pumped that
honestly.
you're here. And I love that takeaway. Please scroll responsibly. TikTok. Michael Beckerman, thank you.
Okay. So I am kind of like, I have some thoughts on this video. One is, I'm not really feeling I don't know. I just got a bad feeling about Michael Beckerman. I don't think he's the proper person to go out and answer questions because he dances around the questions, and he dances around the main questions that I feel, because these are my opinions, questions that I feel should be answered to give comfort and peace to the parents, into the village. Um, the beginning of the video when they showed the man with his daughter, and she's 11 years old, and she spends 8 hours a day on social media. That is like, he should have even reeled that in and said something like, we'll discuss a better plan for you, because I do feel 8 hours is not appropriate. I mean, even during the interview with Michael Beckerman, he was pretty much, saying that he trusts his daughter on the site because, she's probably a good girl. She probably get great grades. But you can't trust other people that may be on the other end of social media, that may be preying on your daughter, and her going down a rabbit hole for 8 hours is not a good look. That's just my opinion in that. Some of the questions that was asked, one was about the algorithm, since we're on the daughter, when he asked about if his daughter became depressed. What is some, like, how do you guys handle that or whatever, with the algorithm? And Michael Beckerman didn't answer that. He just said, well, we try to give a great experience and keep it fun and this, that, and the other. But if you are depressed as a child, as an adult, or whatever it may be, you're going to be looking for things that probably will take you still down that rabbit hole of depression. I know it sounds weird, like we should be looking for things that makes us happy, but in that present time, you'll start wanting to kind of connect with people that's feeling the same way as you. And when that happens, you're slowly going down this rabbit hole of things that gets darker and darker and darker. And I know, because I've almost been on the dark web before on so I pretty much know how that feels to go down a rabbit hole of different things when you're on social media. The other one was about the Chinese based app, Douyin. Douyin has the same, it's pretty much the same, even though everybody's trying to say it's not. They have the same logo. It's the same parent company. It's just that Douyin is more restricted, because it's in China, and China don't play those games. It's not like it is here in America, where we're so free. We're a feel good country. They're really big on there. It's a very intelligent country. I know a lot of people, a lot of Asian people, and they're mostly reserved. They're definitely intelligent, well structured, and that's pretty much how I heard that the app runs. They reward people who do things on a more educational level and succeed through the app, more so than getting views to do, like, to drink out of a toilet. So you see what I'm saying? So, I mean, can you imagine if you constantly if you constantly paying somebody to do things that is mindless, you're constantly, giving them accolades, you're giving them money, you're giving them fame, you're giving them attention. People eat that up. And so they start to try to do more things that is crazy, more things that's dumb, more things that's stupid. And we've seen it. We've seen people, young people, like, get deleted. We've seen young people who have deleted themselves. It's just, we really need to start waking up about, uh, the generation that has grew up on social media and trying as the village, as older people who didn't grow up on social media, to try to help in some kind of way to create a culture change. So, and then the young lady who spoke about her daughter, who was like, my 7-year-old daughter, she loves TikTok, her and her friends. So she got her daughter a phone or got her TikTok because her friends got it. See, that's another thing. It's kind of like follow the sheep, follow the herd. And then the young girl, I guess, tried to use the app as a 13-year-old. So she lied on the app. So that's deception right there. So now this app has made her deceive her mom. And then she told her mom she wanted that experience, that of what the adults feel, of what the older people feel. And her mom, the way that the commentator was talking to Michael Becker, she was acting like it was the company's responsibility to give that experience, when honestly it's your responsibility to tell her, no, you can't have that experience because you're not old enough to. So you have that experience when you get old enough to have it, or don't have it at all, and tell her why she shouldn't even want to have that experience, or why she should have it in moderation even when she gets a certain age. I don't know. I just feel like, and not all parents, and it's not even about 2-parent homes, single family homes. It's about some of these people are having these children and allowing the child to govern themselves. So children are out here being adults because the adults have freely allowed them to, and not giving them any restrictions, any rules, anything. And then you have some that will just throw a phone in their child's face because they just trying to, they trying not to well, that's the same. They're trying not to develop them the way that they should. So I just feel like it's bad, but overall, I think the commentators did a great job in asking a couple of questions that should have been asked. They were some great questions. I feel like Michael dodged those questions, but I also like the fact that in some of his questions, he put it on the parents respectfully, because some of those questions that they asked should have been on the parents. So overall, please share your thoughts and feelings on this video. And the next clip we're going to get to is the Surgeon General. This is a short clip. The Surgeon General, he And also in that first video, they were talking about Vice industry. And the commentator was saying to Michael Becker or Michael Beckerman, pretty much that like TikTok or social media is in the category as a vice industry. And honestly, what do you guys think? I really think that it might be in the same category as a vice industry. So let me know what you think about that. But speaking of that, segueing, we have the Surgeon General discussing why 13 years old is too young to be on social media platforms. And it may be restricted because that's the Surgeon General. Listen, the Surgeon General makes rules when it comes to alcohol, tobacco, the things that affect and harm us in our country. And there may be some changes, which is the cultural changes that I'm talking about. But of course, I'm pretty sure he may get some pushback too. But let's check it out.
Concern for many parents. In fact, according to Pew Research, 97% of U.S. teenagers go online every single day, and 46% say they're almost constantly online. 54% of teens say it would be really hard to give up social media.
So when's the right time for teens to start using social media? Well, joining us now is United States Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy, who recently made headlines warning that 13 is far too young to join social media. Welcome back to GMA3.
Well, thanks so much, and good to be with you.
Of course. Now, what problems are we seeing when it comes to young people and kids on apps like TikTok and Instagram, and what is the data telling you?
Well, let me tell you why I'm concerned, and it's a combination of data and stories that have really led to my concern. You know, as Surgeon General, I've traveled the country and talked to parents and kids all across America. I've also talked to researchers who have studied this area, and more the data is telling us that social media use for many children is associated with increased risk of depression, anxiety, and other mental health symptoms. It also, in many kids, is contributing to their sense of loneliness and impacting their own self-esteem. But when I talk to children and parents, the number one question parents ask me is social media hurting my children? And kids have a remarkable amount of insight. They tell me three things consistently about social media. One, that it makes them feel worse about themselves. Two, that it makes them feel worse about their friendships. But three, that they can't get off of it. And that's a really important point for us to underscore here, which is while parents and kids are fighting this battle, trying to figure out how to manage social media, these platforms have been designed by some of the best product designers in the world, and they're designed to bring and reel our kids in, to keep them on these devices and maximum time spent. But that's not always good for our children, and so this is not a fair fight that's being waged. The best product designers and companies versus parents and kids. We've got to stand up for parents, we've got to stand up for kids, and that's one of the many reasons I issued a Surgeon General's advisory on youth mental health last year, because we have a youth mental health crisis in America, and social media is an important part of that.
Okay. So that was a lot in that small amount of time. And one of the things that I like is that you know, he wasn't like judging the parents. He wasn't bashing the parents. He was more so talking about how it's making the kids feel, how he's out here on this campaign, really trying to feel, you know, now he's doing the digital wellness. He's the one that's out here trying to see the mental state of these children. That's part of what his job is, in order to see if there needs to be some restricted rules and regulations moving forward in certain things. So, you know, a lot of the kids, like he said, are bright. They know how they feel. They're self-aware, and they're telling him the truth. And we'll see that in a couple of other videos that I'm going to show you through some group thinks that some of these teens and preteens were in. So we definitely got video footage of, you know, the children and preteens and teens discussing how it makes them feel, how long they're on the platforms that they, you know, choose. And none of them like Facebook, okay? Somebody said Facebook is for grandparents. Now you know that's bad, but that's a video I didn't put up here because I'm on Facebook and I'm not a grandparent, but skip that anyway. All right. But at the end of the day, I do like the campaign that he's working on. I like the fact that he's working with the moms, because there are some moms that is worried. Now, these are, you know, moms, well, you know, parents that's worried about the future of their children on these platforms. So he's working with them. So that was a cool little video. So, you know, there's this thing that I didn't even know existed called TikTok brain. Listen, I am just learning emojis. Like, you know, I know the basic emojis, but there are some other emojis that I be asking people, now, what does this mean if this emoji and that emoji? So I'm like real old school and low key with it. Okay. I'm just going to blast myself out right now, but we're going to do a dive into this video that's called TikTok brain, and then we'll kind of discuss it. And let me know your thoughts, please. You know, comment, engage, like, and subscribe. I really would love for you to like and subscribe. And you might see also that it says NASA Word Life Apparel. That is because I do have a clothing line called Word Life Apparel. And up under that is a brand called Invisible Trendsetter, which I'm rocking today. And I was kind of feeling, you know, homesick because I'm from Michigan. So I have on my Bob Evans hat because it's one of my favorite breakfast places. So, you know, I'm just something light. No, I'm just kidding. No, let's get back to the video. Okay, check this out.
Now, she is our 9 News mental health expert. We love talking to you on Mondays. Dr. Ziegler, let's break it down. What is TikTok brain?
So TikTok brain is something that we know has been going on for years, but finally we have the research to support it. And what that means is that the brains, particularly the developing brain of young children and teens, is starting to get quite used to these short form videos, to the point where what the actual brain science behind it is that we see dopamine, which is your feel-good hormone. It is what is involved in addiction. It's what's involved in the reward circuitry of your brain. We see that it gets spiked up. So when they're looking through and they're scrolling through these real quick videos, that's what's happening. They're getting these dopamine hits that feel good, just the way it does when people sometimes use drugs or they use alcohol or they become addicted to other things. And so that's now kind of the frightening data to support what we've wondered all along, which is, yes, in fact, there is an actual neurological reason why looking at those kinds of videos is just so addicting.
Yeah, so addicting. And then I just saw on the screen some of the things, the negative things that come with this as well. But you're right. I mean, most people know a teen or preteen that literally can just sit there for hours. So what happens when you're just scrolling and you just can't stop?
Yeah, so what happens is we're starting to see an increase in ADHD. You're less likely to be able to focus, have longer periods of attention and concentration. Reading seems boring. Even watching a movie, they say, is starting to seem boring to kids because it's just too long. They don't have the attention span for it. And then there's, of course, all of the other effects in terms of disrupting their sleep, becoming more irritable, have a difficulty transitioning off of it, and, even weight gain. I mean, there's a lot of negative effects from constantly having these dopamine hits and not having good regulation around it.
And I admit, there was a time where I was on TikTok and I was doing the scrolling. And so I don't go on the app anymore because I'll spend an hour on it. And so, as an adult, I can take that, by the
You're like,
horns
"I
and
don't
just
have
make a
time for this."
change. I literally don't have the time. But as parents, what can we do to help their kids? Like, get off of TikTok?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of things that parents want to do, and the sooner the better, but it doesn't matter how old. And like you said, this is absolutely goes for adults as well. But one of the things you can do is set a timer, really try to limit yourself, like literally set a timer on your phone or something else that just says, it's time to get off, and limit that. Make sure it's short term. Also, there are, TikTok is going to have these reminders now that say, like, stand up, take a break, drink some water. So when those reminders come up, listen to them. And also really think about just limiting the amount of time, and also when you do it. So at night is a terrible time to be on there because it's disrupting sleep. It might be getting in the way of kids doing homework. So really think about when you're going to have the time to kind of scroll through TikTok. Make sure it's short-lived and it's not near a time where you have to study or get to sleep.
The fact that the app has to give you reminders to get off of the app is kind of insane.
It is, yeah. Wow.
It is.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Ziegler. We are not going to get TikTok brain out here.
Oh,
Promise.
No.
Thank
we
you.
can fight against it.
Yes.
Okay.
Together we'll make a way. All right, Dr. Ziegler, thank you.
Okay. I am like with them when it comes to that. It's like, you mean to tell me I need a social media platform to tell me when I need to get off social media? Like, come on. As someone that's a part of the village, I am child free. So, I don't have children of my own, but I love children. And so I do feel like it's a responsibility for any adult to, if they have access or if they're around children, teens, adolescents, young adults, whatever it may be, you should be pouring into them. You should be making sure that you lead by example. You should really work hard to help to be a village in some kind of way. And it doesn't have to be monetarily if you don't have it, but it should be given some advice to plant seeds. What has happened though in not just the Black community, but honestly, just in our country, is these parents don't want you saying nothing to their children anymore. Like, if you're a coach, if you're a teacher, if you're just someone who cares about, the welfare of that child, and you see them going in a different direction, and you may say something and then they go back and they tell their mother or their father or whatever, you're liable to be deleted because of it. We should never have to feel like we can't help and assist these beautiful innocent human beings and helping to shape them. I commend anybody that is very big on like the youth, because I've always been like that. I've always gave opportunities to young people when they came to jobs and hired them to watch them grow and develop and to assist in that. And I feel like that's what we should be doing, It's just so much lack of support around these kids to me too. And it's really sad. It's kind of like, it's totally different than when I was growing up. When I was growing up, there was Big Mama, there was the aunties, there was the next door neighbors who made sure that if you played with their kids, that you were getting fed with them kids, or you was getting peanut butter jelly sandwiches for lunch, and then y'all go back out and play. It was just a whole different culture. And I just want to see us get back to some type of that organic culture. I feel like these children should be able to know what that feels like, as well as still, live in the society that they understand fully, which is social media, but to be able to like just have some type of govern or some type of rules and restrictions so that they don't get so caught up in it, so that they're not dependent in it, so that they can put their phone down without, feeling like they're empty inside. So I will be having a guest on one of the episodes. I don't know exactly yet which episode, but her name is Rosalind Tyler. And she is really big on the youth, and she does a lot of youth mentoring in Flint, Michigan. So she has agreed to be a part of this series that I'm doing, and I'm excited to have her. And we'll discuss that more probably in the second episode. Okay. All right. So thank you for listening to me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, put your notifications on. I'm trying to get, I'm trying to understand and learn that. Just so you know, this is my first episode. I did not fully introduce myself. I just dived right in, really. But the name of this podcast, or the name of this show, is called This Is Insane. And it's more for the, listen, I'm from humble beginnings. I'm from the hood, okay? I'm a roundaway girl, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to speak the language. I'm going to talk like that. I'm going to, still give you the knowledge that you need to kind of research and help and get resources and whatever it is, but I'm trying to be relatable for the people that I'm more connected to. A lot of people, in my type of community, we're more like, oh, that's what such and such said. Oh, okay. So like, that information trickles down because somebody else might give you some words of wisdom, and then the next person give you some words of wisdom, but it gets watered down because some people don't check resources. Some people don't want to take it to that level. They just want to get some quick news and then, or some gossip or whatever, and they be out the door. But I want to talk about stories that should be heard, that needs to be known and addressed, and that may be stories that people are scared to tackle because of the fact that they're scared of backlash, or they're scared of what might happen if they discuss them because of this sensitive culture that we're living in now. I'm not from this sensitive culture, and I'm going to be who I am, period. So this is what This Is Insane is, and welcome to the show. I hope you become an avid person that just comes and is a fan of the show and just kind of engages with me, because I really need that. I would love it. Iron sharpens iron. Even if it's something you disagree with, I'm not turning my comments off. Okay, I might block, delete, take away some bots, but I'm not turning my comments off. So I just had to get that little promo out the way, promo rant. But thank you also for listening once again. So the next video that we have is what I was telling you about, the group things. So I have two group things. One is mostly, I think, kind of preteens to teenish. And they were talking about, the pressures of having to get a phone and get, and be a part of the social media culture, and how it makes them feel. And these young people are so bright, and they want to be heard. They want us to know how they feel. And this is what I don't understand. Well, we know how they feel. We know that they're young, and we're still allowing them to live that life and do what they want. And knowing that they have an addiction, we supposed to be helping to heal them, helping to curb that addiction, helping to transition this culture into something better so that they can have a better future. So I hope that you guys are with me on that, because anything that I say, I'm going to make sure, or everything that I touch on, I'm going to try to have resources and information that you could use, and it could help you, or it could help your friends or your community. That's what it's about. It's each one teach one. We go out and we share in order to create a better country, a better community, a better society. All right. So let's get it cracking. Okay, I'll start.
One social media platform. Did you feel pressure to need a cell phone because other people had it?
Yeah, for sure. It was one of those things where all of my friends had them, so I kept asking and asking.
I did feel pressured because in 5th grade, literally every single one of my classmates had a phone at that time.
I definitely was pressured. It was like a competition to see who would get a phone first when I was in the 5th grade.
Have you ever felt separation anxiety when you didn't have your phone in your hand or you didn't have access to it?
In the past few years, it was like, when I would get my phone taken, I'd be like, oh, I miss my phone. What am I gonna do now? It felt like I couldn't live without it.
I've definitely felt it. Like, I know my friends have taken my phone when I was younger, and I would always get a little nervous about where's my phone? And that was the only thing on my mind when they took it.
I feel that I'm missing quote unquote a part of me.
I think I realize how impatient I've gotten when I don't have it, and I can't fill up the time with games or social media or things like that, and you're just like, oh, just stand and look around.
Pretty bored right now. Okay, Naeem. Now, you don't have a phone, but you have access to an iPad?
Yeah, games, my Nintendo Switch.
When you don't have those things and you don't have access, how do you feel?
I'm also missing a part of me, like Aaron said.
The main way you guys hang out, quote unquote, with your friends outside of school, social media?
Outside of school, me and my friends, we do a lot of voice calls a lot, and we play games, and we do study calls, and we probably do that for a good amount of time. Maybe, I think this weekend we probably spent 15 hours on call.
Over the course of the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Naeem, have you been playing video games or got lost on YouTube and just been watching video after video after video?
I can't count
Just
it.
hours?
The only thing I would say, want to watch, if no one tells me, nah, you can't watch that.
Right.
YouTube, YouTube, YouTube.
Tiara, what about you?
I would say if I'm on TikTok, 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours straight shot on TikTok.
Yeah.
Just sitting there scrolling.
Yeah.
What's so interesting about TikTok?
Just seeing different people just make funny videos. It's and the fact that I can relate to the videos, it just makes me want to watch more and more and more.
You're on YouTube or TikTok, Snapchat, Discord, but I feel like there could be a darker side to that. Am I right by saying that?
Definitely that comparison thing that you do when you're scrolling and you see all these different people, you constantly compare yourself, and I think that's definitely a negative. And it always seems like they're living the perfect life that you are not, even though that's not true.
Aaron?
No, I agree with what Ellie said. It acts like they have a perfect life, and they're perfect. They can do whatever they want. They have all that money. Compared to them, I'm a nobody.
I like art a lot. I draw in my free time and I write in my free time, and then I see like all these content creators making like these gorgeous pieces of art digitally, and they're like younger than me. There could be like 12 and they already like mastered the use of like lighting and shading, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy crap, like why am I doing this? There's so many other people that are like so much younger than me and have so much more potential than me.
Basically, social media is everyone's persona, and it's not actually like how they are, but it's like rather how they present themselves. So it's like hard for someone who sees that to like realize that that's maybe not, their life isn't as good as it seems.
Yeah. Naeem, let me ask you something. When you were on YouTube during certain things that were happening in this country, did you see certain things that impacted you?
Yes, I'm like, what are these police doing? Like, they wildin'.
You talking
What?
about police and brutality?
Yes. Yes.
What was that like when you saw stuff like that?
When I saw something like that, I'm thinking that we're not even out of slavery anymore. Like, we're back where we were when times started.
You're 8 years old and you were thinking that?
Yes, I was concerned for myself because I'm black and these people are like disrespecting us, my kind, and like I'm not feeling good about that.
My final question is, social media is?
A great platform for some people, but a bad platform for others.
Tiara, social media is?
What you make it. It depends on what you allow yourself to see, who you follow, who you don't follow. What's on your explore page is just what you make it.
Ellie?
I was gonna say, social media is its own world.
Whew, man, these babies, man, it's really sad, honestly. Because I don't really think that no one kind of felt like it would get to this level. You know, which is understandable, but now it's getting to a level where we're losing our children. We're losing them spiritually, we're losing them physically, we're losing them emotionally, we're losing them mentally. And because of that, we have to kind of figure out a way, like I said, to assist them, to address the situation without making them feel judged or making them feel like I'm honestly, I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of judging the parents for allowing them to just be on that platform for so long, unless it's educational or creative uses that is going to help them in succeeding in, you know, in their goal or passions. And then maybe doing 30-40 minutes with being able to watch something funny to just get their mind off of like the things that they've been doing on an educational level on the platforms. But geesh, like 8 hours and all of that, I can't get behind that. One of the things in one of the episodes that I'll be having, and they kind of like discuss that, is the comparison situation on how these young kids or these children are comparing themselves to some of these young influencers that are making money, or even maybe the older people. But to me, they would kind of be comparing themselves to people their age that have been able to finesse the platform or find their niche in the platforms, and to be able to create wealth from the platforms. And, you know, and that makes them feel depressed, as they were saying, like they feel down sometimes because it's like they don't have the things that, you know, that these people have. Or they could be talking about rappers, or they could be talking about, you know, we never know, but majority of them felt pressure, honestly, to have like even a phone or to be a part of social media because of their friends. So that's peer pressure. And then the second thing that it was comparison. Those are two things that I heard from majority of the platform. They all pretty much agreed on that. The young lady that's 12 years old, that is in the 12th grade, for her to say when she doesn't have her phone, she don't know what to do. You in the 12th grade, you're not looking at no colleges. You not studying to try to understand college life and get ready for that. You in the 12th grade. You don't know what to do when you don't have your phone. And yeah, y'all gonna be seeing a couple of rants. Like I said, this might not be the platform for you if you sensitive, because I don't have time to be sugarcoating nothing. You're gonna get it real and raw, okay? Because I am a part of the village. But okay. Evidently she might be wealthy. I don't know, but if I don't have my phone, I don't know what to do. I'm just lost. You can't pick up a book. You don't want to study. You don't want to take time to call and check on a friend. You just lost. We in America, we got a problem. Okay. And then one of the other things was the second grader, Naeem. Naeem said he wildin'. Naeem said, Naeem hood. Naeem was like, he in the second grade. He talking about TikTok. No, I'm sorry. He said YouTube. But he got me when he was like, man, he was wilding. Who are these kids? Oh, that's how you know they real. Like, he literally did not switch it up. And I love that. He was his true, authentic self on a platform. Now, what I don't love is the fact that he was able to see these different things, because he is in the second grade and he's 8 years old, and YouTube do have restrictions, so he would not be able to see that unless his restrictions was open as an adult. He never said anything about like his parents kind of like showing him any videos or kind of sitting him down. Like, they didn't deep dive into that or discuss that. So I hope that happened where he had some parental supervision while he actually was kind of watching these videos, and somebody sat him down and kind of discussed. He also is hecka grown, because he was like, they trying to make us like back in the day when we were slaves. What? You 8 years old. What you know about back in the day being a slave? But I understand exactly what he was saying. He was just, he just didn't know how to process his words. And I'm just being funny. But he was really saying, like, I understand as an 8-year-old, I understand what slavery was and what happened with my ancestors. And that was discussed with me. And now I feel like I'm a part of that. I feel like I'm living that. And that's exactly what he's saying, because in some ways it is true. But that's a different subject, different title, different episode. Okay. So yeah, I just hope that, he was getting the parental supervision by being able to be on these platforms and to be on YouTube, because YouTube got a lot of stuff. Okay. It's Google pretty much. So Like he definitely need restriction on YouTube. But and then the young lady, she was in the 11th grade, the one who was on the phone with her friends for 15 hours in the weekend, so like 7.5 hours or whatever for the weekend, and then had the nerve to say, you know, these kids, they just, you know, they be like 12 and they, you know, they're I love to create. I love to create art, and I just see what they have done on social media. And so she was comparing herself because of how successful they've become at such a young age, doing something that she is passionate about and she loves. But she's not putting in the time. See, they're using the young people that she was talking about, they're using the platform wisely. They're using the platform for what it should be for. And don't get me wrong, I didn't say never to not have fun on it. I'm just saying to have fun wisely. But she's talking about them creating something that's passionate, that they're passionate about, that they're talented in, that can help them into succeeding, that's probably educational. And she's comparing herself because she hasn't gotten to that level yet. But that's because you're on the phone in group chats for 15 hours, baby. You on the phone in a group chat for 15 hours for the weekend. You got to get up and go to school Monday through Friday. So Saturday and Sunday, you giving 15 hours on the phone to your friends instead of like learning something pertaining to your passion and your goals. Like evidently the people that she's looking up to, the younger people, that's probably what they've done. So those are some takeaways that I got from that groupthink. Okay. If you have any questions or if you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments, because I definitely would love to see it. Let's see. So we have another groupthink video. This one, I think they're a little bit older. Now they're addicted though. Like they just kept that 100. They was like, look, I don't want to change what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm addicted. So they're definitely self-aware in a sense of this platform and the time that they have given to it. So let's check this out.
Yeah. I could stop if I wanted to.
Sorry.
Do you feel addicted to technology?
Yeah. I could stop if I wanted to, but I don't want to.
I use my phone 4 hours a day, and Hulu and Instagram are my top used apps, and my mother is gonna kill me. This week was 5 hours.
I use my phone for 6 hours a day.
On an average per day on like a weekend, I'd spend 2 hours on my iPad and 3 hours on VR. I play video games, I watch YouTube.
Weekly total is 45 hours and 26 minutes.
44 hours and 3 minutes.
52 hours and 20 minutes. And my most used apps are TikTok and YouTube.
How long on TikTok?
16 hours and 20 minutes, and on YouTube 6 hours and 30 minutes. It's so addictive.
I would say I'm very addicted to VR. I mean, it's a very addicting thing. I talk about it like 24/7.
Okay, so I'm going to discuss what we see on here, which, okay, before I discuss what's on the screen, let's talk about the video. So, of course, it came on and they were just like, look, yes, I'm addicted. However, I'm not getting off. I don't want to get off, you know. And it was funny because one of the girls was like, my mom's going to kill me, I guess, when she seen how much she actually uses like social media or whatever. But the youngest baby, this one right here on that VR, that's heavy. Like, I be scared of adults that be on that thing. And you mean to tell me they allowing this baby to be on a VR for like 3 hours a day? First off, you living in a whole nother reality when you in those things. Second, your brain is not even developed fully for you to even understand the real world, and now you in a VR. I don't know. And then did say that you talk about it 24/7. And they didn't give ages or anything on this one, so we really don't know, but we could tell that the last person, or the person that that does the VR, is probably the youngest out of everybody on this group, in this group. So some of the things is withdrawal, craving, and insomnia, and agitation. That all leads to a depression. So let's think about it like this. If we know that from watching a lot of these different videos and hearing all of the different symptoms that can happen when you get too caught up in, because it happens with adults, but it's just 10 times as worse for kids because they're not fully developed. But as an adult, you know, you can kind of manage it differently. You got these young people deleting themselves because they don't feel good enough because of comparison. And these are all the signs of the beginning stages of, you know, depression. You know, if we don't assist in becoming the village that's needed for all of these children, what is our future going to look like? I just want to know. What is our future going to look like? So, yeah, that was a little short clip, but it was, you know, about, I like the ones with the children, with the kids. I hate saying kids because that's like Billy Goat kids, but you know, with the preteens, well, in the, what they call them, tweens or something. I don't know. I'm so out of touch, but I like those videos because I want to hear from them. You know, I want to know how they're feeling. I want to know what we can do as adults to help them. And that's something that was not discussed, and maybe that can be another episode, but to see what it is that we can do to help them. But to let them tell us what can we do to help them, you know. So I want to say I'm saving the best for last. But I don't know how y'all gonna feel about these. These are a little rough, okay? Because this is some info. not information, but information. Okay. So one of the videos is more of a visual site, and you're going to see the difference visually between TikTok and Douyin. Both of them are under ByteDance. Douyin is the Chinese app. TikTok is the American app that was created by a Chinese, company. Okay. Sorry, I needed that. You're going to see the visual distinction, and it's going to blow your mind. And hopefully when you watch this, you'll say to yourself, okay, I got to make some different changes, or I got to make sure that my child makes some different changes, because we out here looking real goofy. Okay, let's check it out.
App we all watch every day. Dances, teenagers, twerking, silly trends. Meanwhile, this is the TikTok that only China sees. Wholesome, educational, smart, not fun. What we just stumbled upon here is a huge revelation. And I promise you, this story is much bigger than you think, because this is proof of how China is making all of us dumber with TikTok. I mean, just take a look at these videos and you'll see a suspicious difference between the TikTok we know versus China's version of TikTok, Douyin. Because while our version of TikTok is being fed with just more of this and this and this, just more suggestive videos, just more and more dancing trends, just more idiotic, wasteful content with tens of millions of views and just more and more silly pranks, well, the people of China only get served more of this. Teachers in classrooms, science experiments for kids, showcasing architecture and technology, even sports. I mean, they take this so seriously, they even have specific categories on Chinese TikTok for knowledge and physical education.
You can pretty much learn about anything you want to on Douyin.
And of course, you can easily say that this is just because of cultural differences, but let me remind you, TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is Chinese. And even cybersecurity experts are worried that the Chinese government could easily use TikTok as a tool to control how Americans think.
You want the next level of youth to go, I can be famous doing something that's truly worthless to society.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is very possible that in this modern age of information, China is waging a secret war on your attention, all while showing us how social media can be more meaningful and educational.
Residents, children in China get to see is very different from the one your kids are looking at here.
They want their kids to grow up and want to be astronauts and scientists. Yeah. They don't want them to grow up and be influencers.
It's like they deliberately are feeding us garbage while they themselves are eating gold. Which is why China's version of TikTok is protecting their own kids from trashy content. There, if you're under 14 years old, you can only watch videos for 40 minutes per day. Unlike on our TikTok, where youngsters drown in these types of videos, in China, kids even get an alert to get off their phones and do something else. And between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., they cannot access the app. See, by now, we have made quite a few videos about China, and some people label me as anti-China. But guys, this might be the first time I'm saying this. This time, China is definitely doing something right inside their country.
In China, the way that the algorithm works, it doesn't reward people doing stupid dances and like playing with their dog. The algorithm is rewarding things that they want to see their youth do.
And maybe this time China is winning the war on our attention. And if we don't keep up, China will outsmart the rest of the world by shipping out an app so addictive and so damning it will corrupt the minds of everyone except the very people who created it.
Okay, so I just want to say that this was heavy, and I was saving the heaviest for last, okay? Now, this is showing you, these are visuals that you're seeing. The two apps that is created by the same company. One gets shipped to America, which is, pop culture, entertainment, home of the free, land of the brave, whatever it is called. And then you have the Asian, or I should say the Chinese app that people are getting rewarded by having high education, having videos that show them doing things that pertain to creativity and success. So these people are over there successful for all the right reasons. And then we have people in our country that's successful for all the wrong reasons. And there is a such thing as mental warfare when it comes to people trying to infiltrate or indoctrinate. And that is something that we need to be cautious about as a country too. Because adults, we pretty much, if we don't want to know something, we'll challenge you, or we just won't say nothing. We just do what we want to do. But the children are still impressionable. They still like are being developed. They're still sucking in, different things and absorbing like a sponge. So their brains are still innocent and new. And if you were going to wage a war, wouldn't you wage it as a Trojan horse? Just something to think about. So yeah, that video was disturbing to me because I think that's one of the reasons why I can't scroll mindlessly on TikTok. I could never even, I tried, and I do have 2 TikTok accounts, business accounts, and I'm never really on there. But I can't scroll because I don't have the desire to, for one. And okay, so I have scrolled for like, I do like the love and relationship conversations with some people, but that's a different thing. That's more like, okay, helping me in something. But what I'm talking about is I don't care about the dances and the challenges and the celebrities and all of that. I don't look at that. I don't look for them. I don't look at the men that's taking off their clothes and their shirts and the thirst traps and the girls with the big butts and they're shaking them. And I'm not, no. And that seemed to be the app of the younger generation's choice. And that's something that, you adults need to look at. Why is TikTok one of the major apps for the young generation? What is the difference between the apps that were created in America or the apps that were you know, what's the difference? Why is this app so popular? Their algorithm must be on point. And I don't use it enough to know that. But, you know, I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention and to pay attention to some of the influencers. Because some of the American influencers that we're talking have been in all of the different countries, been around the world, and so they're trying to tell you something. And one of them is, I forget his name, but when he was talking about how China rewards, just like I said, rewards their algorithm is different than ours because it creates an algorithm of things to see that's successful, and people are rewarded by the videos that they create that's more successful. Why did they give us this app? Why did we receive this app? Why did we not discuss, hey, how does their app look? What is the, you know, what are the statistics of people being successful that make dance apps in China? Is there a higher statistic of people, you know, that's succeeding on that level than it is if they show somebody that broke a calculus code? I'm just saying. So, message, just something to think about. Our babies are out here. I was going to be funny and say catching ADHD, but you know, I'm trying to be good, but I don't care how people feel. But I know we in a sensitive culture, so I'm going to say our children are most likely to have ADHD and not be able to read a book. And then you have a country that is creating a new generation of intelligent giants. So we'll see who will be running the world in the future. But don't get me started. That's a whole nother episode, whole nother series. You guys have been rocking out with me, and we are almost done. We actually have one more, and this one is way informative. Just like the last one was more visual, this one is more audible when it comes to the information. So this also discussed data and different things like that in the different countries that have banned TikTok or that have decided to ban TikTok. So let's check this last clip out and we'll discuss it, and I'll let you guys go.
In many countries, which has led to some governments either banning or considering a ban on the app. Here are some of the main reasons why. Since TikTok is essentially a Chinese platform, some governments have raised concerns about the app's data security and its potential for Chinese government surveillance. India, for example, banned TikTok in 2020, citing national security concerns. TikTok has been criticized for allowing the spread of false information, including conspiracy theories and hate speech. Governments are concerned that this could have negative impacts on public opinion and lead to social unrest. There have been concerns that TikTok collects and shares user data with third parties, including the Chinese government. Some governments are worried that this could compromise the privacy of their citizens and lead to potential abuses of personal information. Some countries have banned TikTok for not complying with local laws and regulations. For example, in Pakistan, the government banned TikTok because the app failed to remove content deemed immoral or indecent. Other than India and Pakistan, the United States, Bangladesh, Indonesia, and Iran also made headlines for banning TikTok over the past few years. In the United States, the Trump administration attempted to ban TikTok in 2020 over national security concerns, but the ban was later blocked by courts. However, the Biden administration has continued to scrutinize the app over data privacy concerns. In fact, TikTok CEO Xu Zhishu just got asked to testify before the U.S. Congress, which shows the determination of the U.S. in its fight and skeptical stance against the platform. The Bangladesh government, on the other hand, banned TikTok in February 2021 over concerns about the spread of pornographic content on the app. The Indonesian government was one of the early comers to the banning trend, as it temporarily blocked TikTok in 2018 over concerns about inappropriate content, but the ban was removed as the platform promised to better its content moderation policies. Similarly, in May 2018, the Iranian government banned TikTok along with several other social media platforms over concerns about the spread of immoral content. The UAE also has strict laws around content that are considered offensive to Islam or harmful to national security. As a result, TikTok has been criticized for censoring content related to LGBTQ+ issues, as well as content that is critical of the government or ruling family. In 2020, TikTok faced yet another ban in Turkey due to concerns about obscene content. The ban was lifted after TikTok agreed to open an office in Turkey and hire local staff to moderate content. As you can see, security concerns usually hand in hand with the so-called immoral content of TikTok as far as the reasons to cancel the platform are concerned. Regardless of the reason, it is clear that the widespread usage of a Chinese app is a major issue for many world governments, even if there is no proof of the Chinese government's involvement with the app. As long as TikTok remains a Chinese platform, the skepticism and concerns against it will continue for sure, with possibly even more countries banning it entirely. Do you think TikTok is a dangerous app? Do you believe the Chinese government has a hand in it? Or do you see any banning of a social media app as a violation of freedom? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.
All righty. Woo. So, if you were listening, the majority of the countries all really had the same issue, except for, okay, so America had the issue with the data privacy, okay, which is very important, especially now, because of so much that's happening. But I'm not going to dig into the politics part of things right now. Just do your research, watch, and then put two and two together, and we'll discuss it on another show. But then you have these other countries, and the majority of those countries, we're talking about the indecency, the the pornographic images, or just different things like that. And they wanted something that was more refined and wholesome. Okay? Now, these are the majority of the countries feeling this way. Why do we not care? Why do we not care? Because our country is built on capitalism, and it's built on sexualizing men, women. It's always been money and sex since the beginning of time. And now it's really out there. So it's just something to think about. You know, it's like, really, where is TikTok going to be in the next 5 years? Will we see it grow? Will we see cultural changes in the way that they handle their platform and the people and the children that's using it? Or will it just literally be banned and it's just be another MySpace from back in the day or something? I don't know. But let me know what you guys think, especially about this first episode. It is extremely late. Y'all just don't know. I be trying to show some love. I'm just trying to find the best platform to put this on and to, try to get on and gain my followers so that I can have a tribe of people that understand me, that feel me, that connect with what I'm saying, and love the way that I'm saying it. Like I said, I'm just a relatable person. So I study, I read, I try to learn, I stay current. And that's all important to me. So I just hope that you take this ride with me. And once you take this ride with me, you'll see some other things that I'm doing. And, see if you feeling it. See if you interested in kind of continuing to be a part of this is insane tribe. But I'm going to have some different episodes coming. The next episode, we'll go ahead and we'll be discussing the comparison. Of course, it'll be other things, but the comparison, how these young kids are comparing themselves to a lot of these other kids, so whatever that might be successful, or just even their influencers. One girl said she loved to follow the Kardashians. Those are her idols, but wasn't on this video, but a video I seen. So like comparing themselves at an early age, to some of these influencers, that's dangerous, So I just want to, kind of like shed some light on a lot of different topics that I'm not going to say that fall by the wayside, but that can be considered propaganda, but like with major broadcasters. However, I can decipher and take out what's needed so that we can keep it moving and we can succeed and we can learn and we can grow and we can research. That's what's important to me. And if I don't get it right, I need somebody to check me, So continue to rock with me. And I thank you so much. And love y'all. And have a good one.
If you want to talk about guns, why is it that there's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community? Why? Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. You go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that.